Okay, well, thanks for being on tonight, you guys. I'm excited. Diana and I are excited to just kind of talk to all of you tonight. And we just kind of wanted to do this to, there's a lot of you that are brand new, fairly brand new. And then, so we also brought on a few of you that are still newer coaches, but have been coaches for about 4 months, because I thought it would be good to get some perspective from some other coaches as well who were in your shoes where you're at in the first, 2 to 5 weeks of coaching, and see what kind of tips that they can offer you. And but mostly, we just kind of wanted to go over some basic first steps, and just really wanted to encourage you, because I know that, like, when I first started as a new coach, it was, I was fine referring to my coach as a client. And then as soon as I became a coach, all of a sudden, like, I locked up and I was worried about what everybody was thinking. And I felt like I had to have all the right words. And I just wish that I could take Jonelle in my pocket with me everywhere, because everything just seemed to roll off her tongue. And so some of the things that, now it's been almost 8 years since I became a coach. And some of the things that I had wished was that I had utilized her more for practicing and doing calls together. We weren't doing so much team coaching back then, so it really wasn't postured like that, but I wish that I had done that, because then I think the verbiage would have come more second nature to me if I was hearing it more and having her help me out a little bit more. And I also wish that I had been more consistent. And I think the biggest thing, though, was that I didn't let my own self, my own thoughts, my own ego get in the way, because like I said, worrying about what other people thought, that really tripped me up. And it got, and when you think about it, it's like, it's not about me, it's about these people I'm trying to help. And I think about people that were delayed getting help, or that didn't get help, all because I didn't get out of my own way. And so I just kind of wanted to encourage all of you guys. And I don't know, did you guys all, can you raise your hand if you watched that little video, the wisdom of the geese, that I put in our little messenger chat? Pam watched it. Did Anna watched it? Nikki, good. I know, Jackie, you watched it, right? She's frozen. So I put that in there because I really love that analogy of, I thought it was really beautiful. And I love how they talked about, like, if they're going, like, they don't make it if they're a lone ranger, and like, if they're when they're by themselves, they really feel the drag and the resistance of flying alone, and how they use the wind of each other to keep them uplifted. And so I think that's why, like, I kind of also wanted to pull us on too, is just to kind of remind everybody that the importance of the community, and that, we want to honk to encourage each other, and to keep us, keep our speed up, but to not compare. Like, I don't want you guys to compare to each other. So anyway, I like that analogy, so I thought that was cool. So I kind of want you guys to think about too, how this program has affected you, how by doing Optavia. We all have our own story, and as a brand new coach, the first thing is, what's your why? Why did you become a coach? What would you like to get out of it? But the second most, like, one of the biggest tools, because we're not, yes, the economic driver is the fuelings, but ultimately we are not selling fuelings. It is a consultative role, and we are really offering ourselves. So our story is our most powerful thing. And so I want you all to think about your story, and where would you be if your coach hadn't shared this program with you, because they were worried that you might think that they were trying to sell you something or something. So just kind of taking yourself back to those shoes and how you were, and just really, I want, like, one thing that helped me kind of overcome a lot of the concepts in my head was, every time when I started having thoughts that weren't serving me, I really questioned them. Okay, is this thought serving me, or is it not? And if it's not serving me, then trying to shift my thoughts to remembering the gift that I have in my hand. And so I just want you guys to realize, like, I mean, you really have the power to change somebody's lives and to make a very powerful impact in the lives of those that you interact with, that you coach, that you maybe you even don't coach them, but because of the positive messaging and the inspiration that you're putting out there on social media. And so, I mean, you really, like, each one of you has so much potential. You have greatness inside of you, and you were meant to be a blessing to others. And so just really try to keep your focus on serving people and doing the heart work, because you know, that's what separates us, that we care and that we're doing this because we truly believe in our program. We know how it's impacted our lives and how it's helped us to create, you know, a better life on, you know, getting our health back. And I think that's what separates us from other people and other companies, is that, you know, is that it's about the heart, and it's about really just helping people, coming alongside of them, and instead of like selling them something. So just wanted to encourage you guys, you know, just, you know, it's really easy as a new coach to let those thoughts kind of trip you up. And really, like, the only thing, like, you know, standing in the way of you probably helping a lot of people are the obstacles and things in your own head. So I think that the biggest thing you can do is to kind of work on it with your mentor coach. What are your obstacles? What are your concepts? And so that you can try to work through those, but staying out of your own head and out of your way, because really that's our ego. And so kind of dropping that, and instead of thinking about what others are thinking of you, because they're not probably thinking of you, you know, think about them, and remember that by your client signing up to do this program, they have far more to gain out of signing up to do this program than you have in signing them up. So just really kind of think about that, and, you know, just remind yourself of that before you get on a share call, and remind yourself and, like, ask, you know, how can I help this person? Really, you know, go onto a share call with listening ears and having that thought of how can I help them, whether they do the program or not. Don't be attached to the outcome, but just really trying to listen and try to match how our program can help, but just remembering they have far more to gain than you do by them signing up. And so, so just, you know, and kind of just letting your inner authentic self shine through. So I wanted to read you guys something, and then I'm going to have a couple of us are going to share some little tips on training for you guys. But you guys, some of you might have heard this before, but I really like this story that I'd heard before in a training, and I wanted to read it to you guys. Even if you heard it before, it's still good to hear it again. It's an inspirational story that will hopefully make you think about how you can make an impact. We're all impacting other people, and we're either going to have a positive impact or, you know, maybe a not so positive impact. And so, or we'll have the opportunity to really impact somebody, but we let it pass us by. So I thought I would share this story so that, just as a reminder to not underestimate, because of Optavia and this gift, that you really have a huge power to influence other people's lives. So it's the story of Teddy Stoddard. So today I would like to tell you a story about a little boy called Teddy and a teacher called Jean Thompson, who made an important impact on him. Jean Thompson stood in front of her 5th grade class on the very first day of school in the fall and told the children a lie. Like most teachers, she looked at her pupils and said that she loved them all the same. And that was impossible, because there in the front row, slumped in his seat, was a little boy named Teddy Stoddard. Miss Thompson had watched Teddy the year before and noticed that he didn't play well with the other children, that his clothes were messy, and that he constantly needed a bath, and Teddy was unpleasant. It got to the point where Miss Thompson would actually take delight in marking his papers with a broad red pen, making bold X's, and then marking the F at the top of the paper, biggest of all. Because Teddy was a sullen little boy, no one else seemed to enjoy him either. At the school where Mrs. Thompson taught, she was required to review each child's records and put Teddy's off until last. When she opened his file, she was in for a surprise. His first grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is a bright child with a ready laugh. He does his work neatly and has good manners. He is such a joy to be around." His second grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is an excellent student, well liked by his classmates, but he is troubled because his mother has a terminal illness and life at home must be a struggle." His third grade teacher wrote, "Teddy continues to work hard, but his mother's death has been hard on him. He tries to do his best, but his father doesn't show much interest, and his home life will soon affect him if some steps aren't taken." Teddy's fourth grade teacher wrote, "Teddy is withdrawn and doesn't show much interest in school. He doesn't have many friends and sometimes sleeps in class. He is tardy and could become a problem." By now, Mrs. Thompson realized the problem, but Christmas was coming fast. It was all she could do with the school play and all until the day before the holidays began, and she was suddenly forced to focus on Teddy Stoddard. Her children brought her presents, all in beautiful ribbon and bright paper, except for Teddy's, which was clumsily wrapped in the heavy brown paper of a scissored grocery bag. Mrs. Thompson took pains to open it in the middle of the other presents. Some of the other children started to laugh when she found a rhinestone bracelet with some of the stones missing and a bottle that was 1/4 full of cologne. She stifled the children's laughter when she exclaimed how pretty the bracelet was, putting it on and dabbing some of the perfume behind the other wrist. Teddy Stoddard stayed after school that day just long enough to say, "Mrs. Thompson, today you smell just like my mom used to." After the children left, she cried for at least an hour. On that very day, she quit teaching, reading, writing, and speaking, and instead she began to teach children. Jean Thompson paid particular attention to one they all called Teddy. As she worked with him, his mind seemed to come alive. The more she encouraged him, the faster he responded. On days there would be an important test, Mrs. Thompson would remember that cologne. By the end of the year, he had become one of the smartest children in the class. And, well, he had also become the pet of the teacher who had once vowed to love all her children exactly the same. A year later, she found a note under her door from Teddy telling her that all the teachers he'd had in elementary school, she was his favorite. 6 years went by before she got another note from Teddy. He then wrote he had finished high school, third in his class, and she was still his favorite teacher of all time. 4 years after that, she got another letter saying that while things had been tough at times, he'd stayed in school, had stuck with it, and would graduate from college with the highest of honors. He assured Mrs. Thompson she was still his favorite teacher. Then 4 more years passed, and yet another letter came. This time, he explained that after he got his bachelor's degree, he decided to go a little further. The letter explained that she was still his favorite teacher, but that now his name was a little longer. The letter was signed, Theodore F. Stoddard, M.D. The story doesn't end there. You see, there was yet another letter that spring. Teddy said he'd met this girl and was to be married. He explained that his father had died a couple of years ago, and he was wondering, well, if Mrs. Thompson might agree to sit in the pew usually reserved for the mother of the groom. And guess what? She wore that bracelet with the one with the several rhinestones missing. And I bet on that special day, Jean Thompson smelled just like the way Teddy remembered his mother smelling on their last Christmas together. They hugged each other, and Dr. Stoddard whispered in Mrs. Thompson's ear, "Thank you, Mrs. Thompson, for believing in me. Thank you so much for making me feel important and showing me that I could make a difference." Mrs. Thompson, with tears in her eyes, whispered back. She said, "Teddy, you have it all wrong. You were the one who taught me that I could make a difference. I didn't know how to teach until I met you." And the story ends here. You never can tell what type of impact you may make on another's life by your actions or lack of action. Consider this fact in your venture through life. And I thought that it was really appropriate because, we can consider that fact in the way that, we coach clients. They don't believe, and we have to believe for them until they can believe for themselves. And so anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys because I thought it was kind of relative to us and what we do as coaches and how we help people, and how you just never know what kind of a difference and how you're going to change somebody's life. So just keep that in mind when you have those fears that face you. So with that, kind of coming back to the basics of a brand new coach, you want to really get down your why. And I know you should have all gotten a little worksheet in your support team messenger group on completing your why. And if you haven't done that yet and sent a copy of it to your mentor coach, I highly encourage you to do that, because there's usually a who connected to your why as well. So what is it you'd like to create? How would your life be better? I know some of you just want to do this just to keep yourself accountable, but, kind of think about what kind of life you could create, or what could coaching do for you? Because that's what's going to really push you to do the action steps when you don't feel like it, or, to step out of your comfort zone. So if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way, just like our clients. If they want to get healthy, they're going to find a way to come up with the money for the kit. So it's kind of like us as coaches, and it could be something small. It could be, not small, but small. So like for me, it's big. I'm trying to get my husband home. That's my why, because of his disability. But I know like Nikki, for instance, is, she wants to take her family to Disneyland. So she's focusing on getting her kids to Disney, getting her family to Disneyland. I know Diana would like to have her husband be able to, she does this to help offset so her husband doesn't have to work so much overtime. So just think about your why, guys. And it is really, really important. I know we talk about that. You think it's not a big deal, but just think about the life you'd like to create and focus on that to push you past your comfort zone. And just remember that, you are worthy, and you may go at a slower pace than somebody else, but, it's okay. We all have a different path. And so just like we tell our clients on their journey to, keep their blinders on and stay in their own lane, it's the same thing with coaches. So I just kind of wanted to touch on some of those things. And now I was going to ask Nikki to come on. So Nikki is, and Nikki, if you have, and if you want to mention, if you think of some tips that you wish you could have told yourself in that first couple weeks, you can share that too. But the main thing Nikki was going to share is she has gotten really good about really digging into her clients' why, and the art of asking questions. So I wanted her to kind of share a little bit about what she is doing and whatever tips she might have to help you guys be able to awaken your client's desire. So Nikki, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good night. I actually learned how to really dig deep into my clients' why while I was doing client maintenance. I'm going to kind of go backwards to when we first start with our clients, but I feel like I learned it backwards, which is, kind of with anything with experience. So when we first start speaking with potential clients and our new clients, the biggest thing is why. Why do you want to change your health? Why do you want to change your life? What do you want to do differently? And they might give you a short answer, and that's when we have to keep asking questions and say, well, how do you feel right now? And what do you want to feel like? What activities are you currently prevented from doing? What activities do you want to do? Are you having any difficult relationships? Do people treat you any differently? Will this change in the future? Do you have relationships you want to work on? Are you confident right now? Are you, once your health changes, are you going to have a newfound confidence? Even another one that's really big is medications. Are you on different kind of medications? And what's that going to look like once you really start working on your health? Are you going to be off of those medications? My dad, for one, is halfway off of his medications. So that's really great. So basically, I feel like one of the most important things I learned was we really want to ask the questions based on their responses, and that leads into just really digging to the bottom of their why. So I had a client I'm going to kind of share with you guys that was struggling, and I had this thought. I'm like, I want you to either journal or text me, or really think about what your why is. And I didn't give them a hard deadline. I said, think about that in the next couple of days and get back to me. Her answer was, I want to work on my heart health and freedom from binge eating, amusement park rides, and fun, active life, which was a short response. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's dig deeper. I'm going to ask you some questions that directly relate to that. And we're going to, dig into that. So I said, what does heart health mean to you? How do you want to physically feel? Is there medication that you don't want to be on anymore? How do you feel when you binge eat? How does it feel when you eat? When you overeat? What amusement park? And I just really started digging into it. And then she kind of opened up this door, and it was just this flourish of information where she's, I don't want to take my medicines every day and be, married to this medication that I'm always worrying about. She said, I want less weight, less weight stress on her heart, which is, because she's having some heart issues. She wants to feel healthier. And she just really started digging really deep into it. She's like, she feels weak and disgusted when she binge eats. She feels like she's hurting the best part of herself and not allowing who she really is to come out because of her current state of health. She says that staying overweight means that she doesn't deserve a better life. And eating proper is like a double-edged sword. And she recognized that if she can't love herself, then she can't love other people. She wanted to go to Disneyland and go on a ride and be able to not worry about her size or the embarrassment of standing in that line and, them kind of measuring you and seeing if you fit in the seat. One of the favorite quotes I have that she said was, I want to go to Waterworld and float the lazy river with my girlfriends. I want to hang out at the lake, hike with my girls to hot springs and waterfalls, go up sandy hills and go to the beach. And I feel like this is such a cool thing, because a lot of times when you ask someone a question, they just want to give you a quick answer and say, oh, I just want to be healthy. Oh, I want to do it for my kids, which is great. That's the starting point. But the point of us coaching, and the point of having that coach and having this community, is to dig deeper and help them as much as we can and help them unlock that. And I feel like in this instance, I really was able to help her unlock her why. So
That's awesome, Nikki.
Thank you.
I love it. I love how you are asking her, like, what's that going to look like? And basically you were awakening her desire. You were getting her to dream a little more. And I like how you said it took her from, like you were asking, what does that mean? You're just asking the clarifying questions, and how are you going to feel? And it sounds like you kind of took her from which a lot of clients, when we do that, I don't know about you guys, but when I do the assessment, a lot of clients, when you ask them what kind of life they'd like to create, they never tell you that. They tell you what they want to get rid of. And it sounds like you got to get her from going from verbalizing things that she didn't want to verbalizing the things she did want. And then once she started talking about that, she was able to dream a little bit bigger and, work on more. So, and talk about, be more specific. We're going to be floating down the river with my girlfriends on the lazy river. So that's awesome. And I think that's the key to that other thing that, is helping people unlock that, those, we're not behavioral specialists, but but it's just asking those questions. We do have a behavioral specialist too for your new coaches. If if you're not able to help somebody, they can make a phone appointment at nutrition support. But I mean, because managing our emotions is really key. It's key. It's key to everything and getting that balance in our life and to creating those habits. So I love it. That's awesome. You're doing a great job. So did you have anything else you wanted to add, Nikki?
I guess I think I just wanted to point out again, this wasn't necessarily it wasn't in the health assessment. I feel like in the beginning of coaching, I struggled with unlocking the why with people, and I just kind of felt like I had to hurry up and move on to the next item in the health assessment. And this was actually a client who was struggling a few weeks in and did amazing her first week, and then started kind of feeling hopeless and just, struggling. And so I thought, well, how can I help her stay on track and really, fall in love with this program and have what I firsthand had experienced from it. And so that was when I thought I need to dig back into her why. So I brought her back to that. And I know that now when I do my share calls, I'm digging deeper into the why. Now, as opposed to in the beginning, I wasn't as experienced and kind of.
Good. And that does come with time. But that's a good thing to try to be aware of in the beginning. That is a really great tip for the new coaches, is to dig a little bit deeper and make sure that you really understand what their why. And usually there's like a why, like when they say what their why is, well, why is that? Tell me more. Well, why is that important to you? And then when they tell you that, well, and why is that? So there's usually like a why behind the why behind the why. So peeling back the layers, and it sounds like you did that, and that's great. I love that. Just because you didn't do that in the initial health assessment with her, that you went back. So it's never too late to go back and revisit a client's why and have that conversation and just dig a little bit deeper. So that's great. Thanks, Nikki. So now I wanted to have, and Nikki, by the way, has been a coach. I think Nikki and Jackie and Celia all came on like right at the same time. And so I was going to have Celia come on because I wanted Celia to share a little bit about, and I can pull up my screen share if you like, Celia.
Yes.
Celia's really been good about, like Diana was in the beginning too, like really utilizing social media. She's been very super coachable, and make a suggestion to her. She does it even if, she just does it, she trusts the process, and it's working for her. So I wanted her to share a little bit about what's been going well for her, and how she's, what kinds of conversations she's having with social media.
Okay, so Sherry, are you going to be able to put up some of the conversations?
Yep, I am going to share screen right now. So you want me to put up the one with Kim first?
Yeah, we can start with Kim. So
Okay.
it's funny, like what Sherry says about me. Like, I guess I'm just kind of like that person's like, okay, like, just tell me what to do. Okay. So I don't think a lot about what I'm doing. I just do it because, like, Sherry says do it, I'll do it. So I won't do it. And then the whole thing about like do it afraid and doesn't matter what people think about you. So it's like, okay, so I'm putting all these posts on social media. So with Kim, the first thing, looks like Kim was somebody that I didn't know Kim Carlson about 2 months ago, and she's on her 5th week on program and down 24 pounds, and so I friended her. She was somebody who I saw her comment on a thread on one of my friends' posts, and it was about bullying. One of my friends' son had been bullied at school, and Kim made a very powerful statement on that conversation, and I noticed that about her, and so I'm like, I made a comment as well, and then I friended Kim. She accepted my friend request, and then I reached out to Kim on a private message, and she didn't respond. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then so I started my 30 days of hope and inspiration. So I was consistent for 30 days, posting a before and after picture of clients and their story. And look, looks like Kim was following me the whole time, and I had no clue because she and I had no conversation at all. So on my 30th day of Hope and Inspiration, Kim actually posted something, and she was congratulating me and said something nice about, and said something to the point of where I need to start working on myself too. And so I reached out to Kim, and let's see.
I think I have it up. Can you see it now?
Let's see that one. Yeah. So then I reached out to Kim, and I, where I'm saying, wow, thank you for your compliment. And she was saying something about she, the Hope and Inspiration, really inspired her, and whatnot. So in conversation, what else do we have here? Oh, so Kim is a realtor. So I had been following Kim as well. So I complimented her, and she was doing some Facebook Lives on her realtor, and she would do a showing on a home. And so and I saw the excitement in her voice. So I'm complimenting her, and I'm like, wow, it's like what you do, helping people and whatnot. So
sorry, I'm trying to find the next series. Here you go.
Okay.
That was her response back.
So there's Kim. Yeah, she's she's like, hey, if you need a realtor or you need anything, but yeah, this is where she says, like, thank you for posting your 30 days of Hope Inspiration. She needs to get back on track, and she's even letting me know what her goal is with her weight, what she wants to accomplish with weight as far as that goes, 45 to 50 pounds and whatnot. And so yeah, so let's see, was this the next one? Oh yeah, so here I am, thanking Kim and saying hello for the comment, and
sorry, that wasn't it. So yeah, I mean, but you get the idea. I mean, she's like, basically she reached out to her, and then she made the connection. I'm excited to connect with you in a few weeks, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what happened to that.
Yeah, so I, and one of the trainings that I had seen said, tell them, here's my phone number, what's yours? And so that's one of the, what I've been doing lately. So, and it works, like, oh, okay, because it's like you're asking them a question and they're going to respond. So. But I love how Kim, was somebody I didn't even know 2 months ago, just making friends on Facebook. If you see something interesting, make a comment about, what somebody else, has commented on, if you agree with their standpoint is on something or something interesting that they said, and then usually they're going to accept your friend request. And Susie.
I like that you said that though, Celia, that, because then I like that instead of you were complimenting her on something, but you took it to a private conversation. And that's the thing, because in the private conversation, that's where it's more confidential and people are going to be a lot more comfortable and feel safe to bring up, because you branded yourself as a coach from your postings and things like that. And now she was comfortable to ask her. So anyway, go ahead about Susie.
Right. So, and that was on my 30th day of Hope and Inspiration, where I posted my own picture. So that is huge. Doing your 30 days of Hope and Inspiration. People are watching, even though you don't think they are. There's so many people watching, and you may reach out to people. They may never respond to you, and it may, or they're going to respond a little bit later, when not in our timing. It's never when our timing is when we want it to happen. So it's planting those seeds. So with Susie, again, I put one of my before and after pictures on Facebook, and she, it looks like she was, saying something nice about my picture. And then, actually, this is one of the client stories. And so I thanked her because she just pressed like. And so I said, hey, thanks for showing support on the story that I shared. It means a lot to get support on that post. And, she's saying here, complimenting me. And then I'm going back to okay, well, I haven't seen you in forever. She's somebody, from my school years, and I literally haven't seen her in forever. So, again, just making conversation, and then Susie goes to well, what do you, she thinks I'm a fitness trainer. So that's that. And so, it's funny, I didn't get back to her till 2-something in the morning. I think we both had insomnia that morning, but, yeah, so just making a lot more, small chat there. And, so when she asked about if I'm a fitness trainer, I said, thanks for inquiring about what I do. I'm a health coach, and just had amazing success with my health journey. I wanted to pay it forward and help others reach their goals. you mentioned being in a bit of a rut with your goals, and would you be open to finding out the details of what I coach? So, ending the conversation with a question. So, yeah, sure, anything will help. So,
Yeah.
so Susie's my client now, and she's doing amazing as well. 19 pounds down in 4 weeks. So
yeah, we just had our celebration call.
it's just weird how it's like I didn't even know these people. Like, and Susie's somebody who I haven't seen since she's 15 years old. So you just never know. And so Facebook is key to getting your client. And amazing to reconnect with people. And just reach out and just like don't be afraid. Put lots of posts up.
Wasn't Kim somebody too that you didn't know before, but in the process of trying to you're adding friends, and how did you add her as a friend? Because you had mutual friends.
Right. So she, through a mutual friend's post, I saw Kim Carlson's comment on the post, and that triggered my interest because it was about a topic of bullying, and so then I friended her, and in the thread of the comments, said, made a comment about her, what she had said, and she made a strong standpoint about bullying, and so that's what it stemmed from, and realized that she's a realtor and saw all her Facebook Live posts, and she looked, like she enjoys doing what she does, and so that was a conversation piece. A realtor, you look like you enjoy helping people, and then I think that helps to build trust. And she's watching. Lots of people are watching those posts.
Yep. So. Okay, great. Well, thanks, Celia. Yeah, I love how just kind of like, did you notice how she would ask her, like she would thank her for liking the post and for her support, but then she pivoted off and asked a question about her. Gosh, it's been forever since I've seen you. What's new with you? So that's, it's just about building relationships with people. It's not always are we asking, because usually if you're just having a conversation with them, a lot of times they ask you if you're branding yourself on Facebook, if you're posting before and afters and sharing your health journey and your progress as you go, and you're sharing inspirational quotes and things like that. It can just kind of organically happen. So, but having the private messaging conversations, I think, is key. That's something that Diana's done a really great job with too. So, so going back to the basics of your why and creating your story. You want your story is you're selling yourself, how you were before, how you are now, and why you decided to coach. And then creating that contact list and identifying the people that you would like to share the program with. And so Diana, did you want to talk a little bit about or kind of come on and maybe we could share some examples? Because I don't know if you guys want to speak up at this time too. I'm kind of, I don't know if anybody has struggles with this portion of it, but what I would recommend is that when you create your contact list, which I think most of you have created a contact list of some sort, there's people that, you have been asking what you've been doing. They asked you when you started your journey, or they asked you as you progressed, or you've dieted with them before, you used to work out with them before, they're co-workers. You've got these lists of clients. Now, what do you do with it? So I think that's where a lot of new coaches kind of freeze, because they're not really sure, how do I reach out to this person without, offending, or them thinking that I'm trying to, get them to do something, or sell them something. And remember, this is a gift we have to offer. And if we don't offer it, how will they know? It's like, who will tell them? Maybe another Optavia coach when there'll be a client under someone else. That's happened to me when I used to be afraid to say things. So what I would recommend is that, as a brand new coach, it's kind of like 5 in 1. You're in contact with your coach daily as they coach you into fat burn. So it's the same with coaching. We want to coach you into coach fat burn, and coach fat burn is helping you acquire your first 5 clients. So until you acquired your first 5 clients, you probably want to be in day-to-day contact with your coach. Even if it's just a text, it might be a 5-minute call. But one thing I want to bring Diana on now, because that's one thing Diana did a lot with me in the beginning. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time, but it keeps you in momentum. It keeps you inspired when you're making that daily contact. And then it's like, let us help you. We're here to help you, and we don't want to push you if you don't want to go. But most of you guys became a coach for a reason. You had people in your heart you want to reach out to. Most of you, I think, want to help at least a handful of people. And so, so what I did with Diana was I would say, okay, Diana, who do you want to reach out to today? And then, okay, and then we'll talk about, talk about one person. How do you know this person? Why are they on your heart to help? And then I gave her the words, okay, here's what I suggest. Why don't you call them or send them a message that says, this, and like, let's just think of an example, like, hey, Rosemary, I know that you've been commenting about my weight loss and telling me that you've been struggling. And I just wanted to reach out to you because you've been on my heart. And I just feel like this program, I know it's helped me. It's been amazing. I think it could help you. Would you be open to exploring if this might be a fit for you? That's it. And they say yes or they say no or they're not ready yet. I mean, what's going to happen? Who cares if they say no or they're not ready? They're not going to get mad at you. You're being genuine. You're showing them you're on my heart because X, Y, Z. So nobody's going to get offended by that. But let your coach help you, with each case by case, because everybody might be different. Sometimes you'll have a direct approach like that. Other times it would be kind of indirect, like, I kind of want to reach out to this person, but, maybe they're very sensitive about their weight. So then it's a different kind of approach. Hey, I don't know if you know, but I'm down 42 pounds. I have so much more energy. And it's so awesome. I have clients that are getting off medications and stuff. And so I was wondering if you would do me a favor. Would you be willing to, if you're in conversation with people and people share with you that they're struggling with their health or their weight, a lot of times it comes up in conversation, or, a mom that just had a baby, she can't get her baby weight off. If it's appropriate, would you do me a favor and direct them to me? And, anyway, so it's like case by case. That's why I say talk with your coach. So, Diana, did you want to kind of share any examples, or do you want to do like a role play?
Yeah, well, if you'd like, we can talk about, for example, I know when I first joined, I would have people ask me at the gym, and they put you on the spot. So maybe I can pretend to be one of those ladies at the gym that just want to know how much it costs.
Okay.
And how you would answer that.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I actually had one of those today.
Yes. I had a few of those, like leaving Pilates or leaving Zumba. Hey, Diana, I saw your posts. What is it? How much is it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
that I'm asking you, Sherry. What is it that you're coaching, and how much is it? Is it expensive?
Well, gosh, oh my gosh, I would love to share it with you. It's actually see, now I'm on the spot. I didn't know I was going to be in the role play. But yeah, so it's actually a nutrition plan. We help people with lifestyle changes and how to eat a balance of nutrition. And I'd love to hear more about your goals and share the details with you. Do you have, I've got to get going right now though, but do you have time, maybe about 20 minutes or so? I can give you a call tonight, either at 6 or tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Would that work?
Okay, that would work. Tomorrow at 6.
Give me some more questions.
Okay, from the same person? Okay.
Not the same person. You know how sometimes you ask somebody and they say, well, can you just tell me this or that, or,
Yes. Okay. I'm really busy. I don't think I have time to talk. Can you just tell me right now, or just send me information? Can you just?
Well, it's kind of hard. I wouldn't really know what to send you because it's really customized to, I kind of need to know what your goals are so that I can make sure to put you on the right program. And then the cost would depend on which, what you do. For most people, it ends up being cost neutral because, you're swapping out 80% of what you consume for our meal plan during the weight loss phase. But yeah, I kind of just need to have a conversation. So when do you think you might have time?
I might have time tomorrow, but I really want to know, what's the name of the company? What company is it?
Well, it's a comprehensive health plan, and I'm an independent health coach. So, yeah, it is kind of, it's kind of best if I can do a health assessment and ask questions, because it really depends on what you want.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'd really like my husband to listen too. So can he be on the call too?
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah, we can do it together.
All right.
Okay, so that was kind of weak, but
Yeah.
but I'll give you guys an example too of one I had today. So there's this gal named Gabby who runs the front desk at Orange Theory, and Celia and I were working the booth on Saturday at our gym. And when I asked to do the table, she kept saying, so what is it that you guys do? What kind of a business? And I said, well, we're health coaches. We help people, with their, weight loss goals or any health, healthy habits and nutrition plan. And she's like, okay. And she's like, all right, well, let me check with the manager, blah, blah, blah. She goes, okay, so what's the name of the company? What company are you representing? And I said, well, we're independent health coaches. It's a health coaching business. So I just left it at that. And then she didn't pressure me for any more. And they said we could do it. We had a lot of people sign up for Celia's newsletter. She's done a couple share calls, already has a client from that. And then when I went into the gym today, Gabby said, she asked me again, oh, it looks like you guys had a lot of interest. And she's this tiny little stick of a girl, right? But see, you don't ever assume, because she's asking me questions. I knew she was interested because of how she was asking me the other day, but I thought it was just because it was her job and she wanted to know. But now here I am, she's saying, I noticed that a lot of people seemed interested. And she's like, well, can you tell me more about it? Tell me more, exactly what do you do? How do you help people? And I told her, well, I said, it's a consultative role. We coach people. We have a nutrition plan where it puts them into a mild fat burn. And so they feel good, they lose the weight. So I kind of go over there. And then she asked me, well, what is it? And I said, well, it's a comprehensive health plan. And I said, it does. And then she wanted to know, well, how much does it cost? And then she finally told me, well, I'm asking for my sister. Is it expensive? And I said, actually, it's not very expensive. It's pretty cost neutral for a lot of people because you're swapping out 80% of what you're spending for groceries on the meal plan part. But really, it's kind of hard for me to say a cost without first talking to her and finding out exactly what her goals are. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, can I give her your number? I said, yeah, sure. So anyway, so that's kind of an example of how that went down. I can remember Diana calling me when she was like second week of coaching, and I was at conference, and she was like, Sherry, what do I say? She said this person was cornering her at the gym and wanting to know. So I was like telling her, just tell her the comprehensive health plan, and it's a lot of details to share. You don't really have time right now, and you want to make sure that, you give her all the info so she can make an educated decision. Can we talk later? So you're just always trying to get it to a phone call.
To the phone.
So you can be in control of the call to be able to ask those awakening questions,
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I get on a health assessment, sometimes you have somebody kind of domineering and they're like, okay, so just tell me give me the rundown. I'm like, okay, well, can I just ask you some questions first so that I can make sure I share the right stuff that's applicable to you? And then they're usually fine when you explain it like that. So did you want me to bring up some of your samples here, Diana?
Sure, just quickly, because I know we're going over in time, and I don't want to keep people if they have to get going. But I just wanted to go over the power of numbers and how important it is to do many health assessments. Don't feel discouraged when you do a few in a day and none of them sign up, because I know that there was days that I would have 3 or 4 health assessments in one day. I was scheduling them back to back sometimes because I was wanting to grow quickly, and I would get a little bit discouraged at first when I would have like 3 or 4 health assessments and none would sign up. So something that Sherry taught me was it's a numbers game. Most likely, if you do 5 health assessments or 3 health assessments, you'll probably have 1 sign up. So the more health assessments that you have, the more clients that you will have, and you want to help these people. So you want to take your time with each of them and explain the program all the way and ask them those awakening questions. And you just learn. You really do learn as you go. I feel like that's what was my aha moment is that I'm going to learn with each one of my health assessments. The more I have, whether they're for training purposes or they are people that are genuinely interested in the program, it's all learning, for us. And so it's a win-win when they decide to sign up. And when they do sign up, it might not be immediately. A lot of my health assessments that I did they would say no at the moment because they weren't ready. But then when they were ready, sometimes weeks, sometimes months later, is when I would get a message and say, okay, I'm ready to sign up now. So don't feel discouraged when they say no at first. It just means they're not ready, and that's okay. You wouldn't want to sign up somebody that isn't ready. You don't want to convince them. If
Right.
you feel like you're convincing them, then it's going to be more of a struggle to coach them, because then you have to convince them daily to eat their 5 fuelings, convince them daily to measure and weigh their lean and green. You want people that are ready and that want what we have to offer. So these are little screenshots of a couple of my clients that had asked me, hey, what are you doing? You know, I'm very curious. And so I can't really read the small writing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the alert. Is that better?
I only printed Rosemary's and Nikki's, but yeah, this one I could read it now.
Okay.
So then I asked her, are you interested for yourself? Because girl, you look amazing. I would love to share the info with you. Do you have about 15 minutes to chat on the phone? And this is another thing. Don't get discouraged when they read your message and they don't respond. I mean, she waited. I'm very impatient, I guess, because the next day I messaged her back, I'm free later. Let me know. Sometimes people are busy and they work. Carolina is a nurse, so a lot of times she wouldn't respond, but she was definitely interested, and she ended up being a client.
That's a good point you make, because a lot of times they don't respond back, and it's not because, like, we can get in our own head and think things like, oh my gosh, why is she not responding? Even it's been 3 days or whatever, or a day. But yeah, a lot of times they're busy, they're working, they didn't see it, or they saw it and then they forgot about it because now it's not in bold anymore. So now it gets buried and they forget. I've done that. So
Yeah, exactly. So that's something that I've learned also, not to take things personal. People are so busy. They have busy jobs, and this is part of what they're interested in, but they also have a whole nother life, that they need to worry about. So then I said, okay, I will message you tomorrow. I'm free, let me know. And then we schedule something on the phone eventually.
Yeah, and it looks like you followed up with her like a couple days in a row. You said, I'm free, let me know if you have time. It looks like you did that a couple days in a row.
Yeah, because sometimes people forget, so you want to remind them that life does get busy and you want to do that. So this lady, all right, what's your secret to losing 15 pounds in a month? This is after I posted my before and after. And then with her, I used a little bit longer approach. It's a comprehensive health program that stabilizes your blood sugars and focuses on lifestyle changes, and about how I would always yo-yo diet, but this program is great. So it was it was what we needed to say, but I feel like I kind of lost her, because then she didn't respond after that. She waited until my next post, which was weeks later, to ask me, okay, what's your secret? Call me. And she even gave me her number. So I think at first she wasn't sure if she wanted to respond. Maybe I kind of scared her a little bit. But then you keep posting, and they keep seeing, even if they're not liking or commenting on the post itself.
And that's a great point. Maybe the less said is better, because it overwhelms them maybe.
Yeah, I think that post overwhelmed her with the comprehensive health program and blah, blah, blah. It was great information, but I think it was just too much, and she ignored it. And then when I kept it simple is when I learned that's when I did better. And that's the other one with Nikki, which is now
Nikki on the call.
Amazing success. I kept it simple, kept it very casual. And I think when you keep it casual, there's less pressure. They don't feel like I'm trying to sell them something. I'm just a friend wanting to help them. So, hi, Nikki, how are you? Oh, and what happened with Nikki is that she just saw my husband's before and after, I believe. She saw that and she was like, oh, I'm curious. And so when she commented on there, then I reached out through Messenger and saw that she commented and wanted some information, and I would love to share it with you. When's a good time that we can talk on the phone for about 15 minutes? And right away we talked, and that's because she was ready. She was ready. It was simple, and it wasn't something that's overwhelming or, feeling a lot of pressure in any way. So that is, that's that on sharing and getting people to do a 3-way call. and write down people that are on your heart. If you have people that maybe you've dieted with in the past or you've worked with in the past, you can put them on the list and be intentional about posting something on their wall. It doesn't have to be about the weight loss, just loving on them. Just, hey, I'm just thinking about you yesterday. How are you doing? Reaching out as a friend, because that is creating that friendship there, that trust, so that when when you start posting on their wall, then they start seeing more of what you are posting. So even if you private message them, Facebook will see, oh, these two want to connect. So then they'll start seeing more of your posts. And if you're already building that relationship with them as a friend and just reaching out to them, they're more likely to feel comfortable reaching out to you when they see that you have something that they need. Maybe they've been praying for this, and there you are to offer them the gift of health.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's excellent. And I will go back. I want to say something too, like, she's got some different verbiage. We can always send this to you guys. I can pop these into the messenger thing if you think it'll be helpful. But but really, like what she did in the beginning till she got the gist of how to respond, she would just message me, hey, so-and-so wants this. What should I say? And I would just text her. So that's, it's, you guys you can never bug us, and that, don't worry about, you're not bugging us. So if you have conversations, feel free to reach out to us and we can help you with how to word them. So I kind of want to know, do you guys have, what questions? What are some of the things that hold you back, or that you're excited about, or what's going well for you, or what do you feel like you need help with?
I like what Diana was doing with like, hey, I have time right now, because like I'm always like, I'm still scared about like, oh, I don't want to be pushy, and because if they don't respond, then I might not respond back or get back to them and follow up for another couple of days. So that's my downfall. But I like, Diana, how that works for you, how you're like, hey, you have a couple minutes right now. I guess I don't want to seem desperate. That's why I'm putting in my head, like, I don't have anything better to do. I don't know. But again, that's all the perception stuff that, I do, put in my head. So I feel like there's a lot of loose strings that like, where I could just totally like, tie together. Like if I just followed up a lot better and just did it, like, who cares, if it seems like I don't think like I'm hounding anybody, but I will take a couple of days to try to get back to somebody usually.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to hound. You definitely don't want to hound people.
No, you gotta
do how you're like, hey, I got a couple minutes right now, so.
Well, that's why, but you did try that today, right, Celia? Only because, like, she saw that somebody was, how you can tell when someone's on Facebook because the little green icon's on. Well, you were telling me that you saw somebody was on that you were trying to connect with, and so you said, hey, do you happen to have time now? And then they did, and then you did it, right?
Right. But it was somebody that, I think I hadn't been in communication with her for about a week, so I felt comfortable doing that. But if it was somebody I had tried to do that with the day before, and I'm like, hey, I have time now, I probably wouldn't have done it. So, but well,
do it. Do it scared. Trust me, this is not my personality. I am super shy and super usually uncomfortable. Yes, you know that, Anna. You know it.
I have something to say about something that that I've started listening to. It's the 5-second rule. And this program really, I actually heard it from Jamil in our boot camp training, Sherry. And it has to do, like, the whole concept is just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And it doesn't mean something crazy like taking a shot or bungee jumping. It has to do with an impulse on a goal or an action or something that's good for you to do. Like, I need to go live. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go live. I need to post on my Facebook. Just do it, because after the 5 seconds, it'll die. Or you'll convince myself, well, I really can't post on Facebook right now because I have, I got to start making dinner, and you'll sit there and convince yourself and spend all this time talking yourself out of doing it instead of just doing it. So I feel like I'm really applying that. And I want to thank you, Celia, tonight, because the phone number part is huge. I need to just give people my phone number. I feel like I've done a way too much back and forth on the chats. And then Diana, what you said about just is now good, or so I love how we're all like learning from each other.
And I love what you said about that, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because it's like it boils down to don't overthink it. If you think about it too much, and I think of it as related to like when I have somebody pop in my head that like I don't know who's all on here, but you know, I mean, I think most of us like we have a faith, and I feel like God put someone on my heart. Like I feel like I gotta act on that. You gotta act now, and I feel it's the same way. If someone's on your heart to reach out to about the program, or you think they'd make a great coach or something, I don't know. I feel like that thought came into me for a reason, and so yeah, you have to act on it before I talk myself out of not. And again, I go back to, oh my gosh, like look at how it has blessed me. How could I not share this with people? How can I hold back? So, yeah. And I want to make a comment about something Diana said about doing a lot of share calls. Don't be discouraged. And Celia, I don't know, you might know the numbers a little more, but I can remember with you, we did probably what, at least 8, 10 together before you got a client?
Yeah, so we did about 6 or 7 before I got a client. So it was kind of like, and I was kind of like, oh, look at so and so, they're getting clients.
Jackie and Nikki were like, you know.
But no, it's and then you just talked about planting seeds, and it's amazing how like my very first share call, so the one that Sherry did with me, is a client, you know, that said no. And 3 months later, I'm ready now, you know, so I thought that was amazing. And again, and I told her, I love how like you weren't ready then, but you're ready now. And so that's what I love about it, you know. Again, you don't want anybody who's not ready. So
Yeah, and I think that this time of year especially can be about planting seeds. However, a lot of us kind of go into it thinking, well, nobody's going to sign up now. Everyone's going to sign up in January, which isn't the case. There are so many people, like, just don't put your concept onto somebody else. Well, like, I don't think she can afford it, or, you know, she's not going to want to start because it's the holidays, because there are so many people that do start. Like when I became a coach, I think I've shared my story with a lot of you guys, and I had my friends, right? And everybody was witnessing them in their Bible study. And it was after they were on program and lost 40 and 60 pounds. Everyone in their Bible study came to me within a 2-week time frame. You know when that time frame was? It was now. It was like the end of October. They all started like first, second week of November, and they went through the holidays. And a lot of the coaches on our team, Russ, Jonelle, Dudley and Sherry Adair, they all started Nancy and Dawn Hool, they all started their program right in October, November, and went through the holidays. So, you know, there are a lot of people that are wanting to do something now, and especially after this weekend when they get overstuffed. So I think Friday and Saturday is going to be a great time to do your posting and to reach out to people, because they're going to be like, I got to do something, you know. They got a lot of time before Christmas still. So, and anyway, but that's just that. And the other point to that is that most people will decide what they're going to do in January, like by the middle of December. So you don't want to miss that opportunity. So yes, there's a lot of potential to sign up clients between now and the end of the year, but it could also be just a seed planting time for you. It just kind of depends on, that's why it's a numbers game, you know, the more people you share with. If you would like to acquire 5 or 6 clients, which would be pretty doable by the end of this month, then you probably want to try to reach out to a couple people a day and try to do a couple share calls a day. If you did a couple share calls a day, you know, you did, I don't know, 15 share calls, you'd probably have at least 5 clients by the end of the month. So it's kind of a numbers game. So any other questions or hesitations, comments, concerns? Were you going to say anybody? Debbie, Kelly, Maria, Jackie, Anna? You guys have anything want to pick our brain about, or maybe pick Celia's brain or Nikki's questions?
I'll just say that, Nikki, I wanted to thank you for the awakening desire for clients that, you know, because I have a client like today or yesterday was her 1 week. And then, so I didn't get to celebrate with her yesterday because it was her husband's birthday. So we spoke today, and she's like, I only lost 3 pounds, but she's making an excuse, but I'm an older lady, so I'm happy with that. But then she told me today that she, you know, had cake yesterday. And then the other day she went to dinner and she ate something else. I'm like, okay, so there was 2 days that you didn't stick to program. So, and then in my mind, I'm thinking, well, okay, well, I guess, you know, she doesn't want it bad enough, but I'm going to use what you taught me today, Nikki, with revisiting her why.
That's good.
And one of the things I think they talked about when everyone starts is writing it down on your mirror. But some people, it might be a Post-it note at work. It might be their mirror. It might be on their phone. It might be a piece of paper in their pocket. And so, and even me, like, I need to remember my why, because I've been struggling lately too. And it's like, I have to keep, why am I doing this? What do I want to accomplish? I'm not giving up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that we all have to kind of go backwards to our why and to our clients' why when they start to struggle. So.
Right.
Okay.
I'll tell her to use the Post-it notes too. So good.
Well, all right, you guys. So just want to encourage, especially the newer coaches, you know, if your desire to grow, you know, definitely reach out to your mentor coach and, you know, do a case by case. How should I reach out to this person? Okay, now how should I reach out to this person? So just want to encourage you guys to do that. And also, if there's something that you would like more info on, more training on, let me or Diana know, and we can set that up. So do you have anything else you want to add, Diana? Because I want to wind this up because I just see how late it's getting. You're muted. You're muted. There you
Okay.
go.
No, I just wanted, I have in my notes a couple of things really quick, just about comparison, how I know that's something that kind of affected me at the beginning. You tend to compare yourself to other coaches when you're just getting started because you feel like you want to do well like everyone else, but just to not compare yourselves because we are all unique in our own way. And there is there's a gift that we each have inside of us that I feel, you know, depending on your faith, but God has blessed us with. And our clients, they're going to need whatever it is that you have, your gift, your own talents. So just shine on Facebook, shine in person, be yourself, and that is going to attract the right people that you are meant to work with. And so that gave me a lot of freedom just to know I'm going to be myself. Not everybody's going to love what I post on Facebook, but that's okay. The right people will, and the right people will gravitate towards me as their coach, because I am a different style coach than other coaches. You know, Sherry, you trained me amazingly, but I am I have a different coaching style. You know, as much as I want to be successful and kind-hearted and everything like you, I have my own twist of style. And so do you. All of you coaches have your own style and your own gifts and your own talents, and God will use them to help our clients and to give them that freedom that they're seeking. So I wanted just to end with that positivity, and also to challenge you coaches, if you would like to grow your business and help a lot of people, I encourage you to start scheduling those health assessments, whether they're for training purposes or for people that genuinely want to know about the program and maybe incorporate it into their lives. I just challenge you to have at least 20 by the end of the year, 20 health assessments. So that's my challenge.
All right. Well, you all have a great Thanksgiving, and I love what you said, Diana.
Thank you.
Have a great Thanksgiving, and don't forget that on December 1st in the morning, we have the Health and Hope brunch for potential clients, existing clients. It's a great thing to bring potential clients to and your existing clients for inspiration. New people will hear about the program. Debbie's going to do a cooking demo. We're going to have a giveaway of like a journal and a mini dash. We're going to talk about goal setting. That's going to be at Debbie's house in Wilton from 10 to 11:30, a week from Saturday on the 1st. And then that night, we're going to all go back to Debbie's. You're all invited, so I hope you guys can all come. It's just for our coaches. There's no training or anything. It's just a party. It's just to hang out and get to know each other better and celebrate the season. So we're having our Christmas or, holiday Christmas coach party. So for you and your significant other to come on Saturday night at Debbie's, and that's at 5:30, and Janelle and I are going to supply dinner. I think we're doing fajitas and carnitas or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, so you guys don't need to bring anything. We're going to have drinks and everything. So, we're going to do a white elephant exchange. So whatever that white elephant gift exchange is, that would be the only thing you want to bring if you want to participate in that. So anyway, that's just reminders about that. So have a great evening, everybody, and thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Bye, good night.
Thank you, guys.